Jumbo, fellow adventurers, time for another spiritual tune-up. Mike Dooley here to remind you that your thoughts become things. That's the three fingers. Thanks for asking. Okay, so today I'm going to dive in and talk about the common cold, which has tangents in understanding any disease, broken bones, broken heart, or any manifestation. Except that the common cold or disease, broken bones, broken hearts, are invariably unintentional manifestations. Everything that happens to us is of our own creation or our willingness to participate in whatever unfolded. That brings up all kinds of crazy tangents. Blame the victim. Look, I've talked about these tangents many, many times. I'm not going to go there right now because there's other points I'd like to make in this little tune-up this morning. But basically, a common cold, and of course, this is the talking point you've been asking, I've offered to share. I've been going through a common cold and a sinus infection the last 2 weeks, one after the other. And it's all good. So why not bring it up? Many of you have pointed out that A Course in Miracles speaks to a truth being missed, which is exactly what I have been saying in these past 300 spiritual tune-ups. Whenever there is an hiccup in your understanding of what's going on, there's an issue that shows up. Others have pointed me to Louise Hay. I'm going to confirm again, as I did last month, that Louise Hay's book is a treasure chest of information. But back on point, when you get a common cold, it is unintentional, but nothing should be assumed. Okay? The typical feeling is like, oh no, woe is me. I have brought this on myself. True. Something's wrong with me. Not true. We're here to learn and grow. And one of the flags on the play that says, hey, you could do even better is maybe catching a cold or different physical ailments of any and every kind. They all have a deeper meaning, origin that we can unwrap to discover truths about ourselves and move into greater power than we had before the cough showed up. So, a point I want to make here. While all issues that are uncomfortable are a red flag that something is being misunderstood, do not paint it with negative, fearful, dire implications, not even cancer. So all issues, they show up, and some are pleasing. All issues are surprises. But when an issue is uncomfortable, that's when you know something is being missed. And it doesn't even have to be a big thing. It might be a little thing. And I'm going to give you some really good examples right now. First, I'm going to read from Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. I really believe everybody should have this in their library. Get the ebook, the download. Half of the book is an index of common physical ailments and their likely, not absolute, their likely cause. And this is what Louise Hay had to say about colds, upper respiratory illness, too much going on at once, mental confusion, disorder, small hurts. Now, these are all either or. So maybe it's small suffering, maybe it's confusion, maybe it's too busy a schedule. And then she says maybe it's a limiting belief. For example, the person who says, I get 3 colds every winter. That person is just manifesting a belief of theirs. And through the manifestation of a cold, you can be like, is this a belief? Is this overload? Is this confusion? What is going on in my life right now that's creating some anxiety? And if you can pin the tail on that donkey, you're going to figure out what brought it on, and you're going to realize that it was a gift that the cold or whatever the ailment is showed up because it was an invitation for self-reflection that you weren't giving yourself or accepting or acting on, any earlier than until the cold showed up. So don't blow it out of proportion. Don't assume all bad. Realize it's always a gift. You're still here. You can connect these dots and understand more about your power, your beauty, the infinite possibilities that lie ahead for you. Exhaustion is another reason, which is in alignment with, overwhelmed and doing too much stuff, that a body will demand that you slow down. A side note, obviously this is where I think my head cold is coming from. Tomorrow I'm announcing one of the most exciting 21-day adventures I've ever offered. And so for the last 4 weeks, I've been spinning a lot of plates and creating a lot of courses and outlines, workshops, agendas, working with my team who is also frenetically spinning plates on top of tune-ups, on top of membership, on top of other things that I haven't shared and things that I just completed, like the train-the-trainer certification for infinite possibilities. So this cold makes perfect sense to me. And here is another thing that it tells me. I have taken on a lot. That doesn't mean I've taken on too much, but it does mean that I might fear that I've taken on too much. So I can either scale back or ramp up my belief in myself and rely not on the physical mortal Mike, but call on the higher immortal Mike. I can start spinning plates in other dimensions using the magic and the miracles that abound for all. I can stop seeing myself as mere mortal, and I feel better. So do you see the gift that this can be? This is not like, oh, tisk, tisk, back off. It's like, hey, you can approach this from multiple angles and different viewpoints, and you never could have done that if the ailment hadn't shown up. Very simply, other possibilities for a common cold or physical ailments: contradictions in belief, contradictions in thoughts and daydreams. I could go here. No, I could go there. You can't go both places, and maybe your heart is being pulled in two different directions. Conflicting desires, disagreements with certain people in your life, arguments. I want it this way, they want it that way. I want to be happy, but I can't be happy unless they change. You're setting yourself up for entanglement. And the red flag on the play is saying, hey, there's other ways to look at this, And when the red flag shows up in the midst of you dealing with something, that this is very likely the connection. And that means you're wrangling with answer A, B, or C, and the real answer is none of the above. There's a different answer that you haven't even considered yet. Hallelujah, praise Jesus. Now you can get there because of this ailment. So don't jump to conclusions. It might just be exhaustion. It might just be some inner disagreement. It might just be you seeing yourself as too mortal. It might just be so many things, but while it might just be those different things, you can take the cue, go within, and figure it out. This is so awesome. So don't jump to wicked conclusions. I'm bad, I'm broken, I'm flawed, I have invisible limiting beliefs, I'll never figure it out. My friends aren't sick, how come I'm sick? Oh, I used to be like that. Obviously, anger, resentment, jealousy, those kind of human emotions, what do they speak to? They speak to a false belief that you're vulnerable. They speak to a lie that you're not good enough. They speak to the fact that there's no way around this issue, this person, this predicament, your past, or whatever you're facing. Those are all lies. So the anger is truth butting up against a lie, and it manifests as a disease or something like, hey, let the manifestation remind you, notify you, there's a happy path here. There really is a happy path. Wrap yourself in a blanket of love and look for an alternative that you haven't considered yet. Broken hearts are exactly the same thing. What is a broken heart but somebody replacing their own view of their worth with someone else's view of their worth? And the other person's view of their worth is really taken out of context, that other person just might need a day off, or they might need somebody less complicated than you, or they might need somebody less loving than you. They might need somebody whose their needs are not a definition of your worthiness. But if you replace their valuation of your presence in your life with your own valuation of how awesome you are in this bastion of order, oh, that's going to hurt your heart. And it's not them. It's your perspectives. So let the unintentional manifestation of a broken heart, a broken bone, confusion, a common cold, be your signal that you're awesome, that everything's fantastic. There's another way to look at this, and you're going to do just swell. Okay, thanks for giving me the opportunity to rant as I do. And I love your questions. Please keep posting them below. The questions you post today could be my talking point tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. And in the meantime, if you can't make these daily live broadcasts, or 10 minutes here and there is too difficult, as you see in the link below, or swipe up on Instagram, I now have a weekly podcast with 2 drops per week of about 30 to 50 minutes each of prior spiritual tune-ups. So please check out my podcasts. Thumbs up, like them, follow them, tell your friends. Same thing here on Facebook and Instagram. I love that I get to do this. Thanks for letting me do this. Have you noticed that my cough has really minimized? All right, I'm working through it. And I'm doing so joyfully, with ecstasy, and so happy that I had this opportunity to realize I am more than mere mortal, and so are you. Okay, Winnie, Shauna, Cedric, Kathy, Sheila, Paul, Annie on Facebook, Jules on Instagram, Donna Davis, Markums. Oh, I wish I could pronounce these cool handles. It's Barbie and Jeb. Okay, Judy too. Thank you everybody for being here. See ya Friday tomorrow.